Hola, welcome to Soul Mechanics. Um, this video is sort of a special one, I guess you could say. I'm sad. Right now, I'm in a sad mood. I had this dude who commented on, I think it was my very last video, in fact, and I directed him to, I asked him to come check out the channel. He came from another channel, and so I directed him to come check out the video, and I asked him to give me input, and the input that he gave me, instead of on, the quality of the video or what he thought of the information therein, or, what improvements I could make or anything of that nature, the input he decided to give me instead was telling me that he was worried about my well-being because I have dark circles under my eyes. Now, the work that I do is not easy, and I don't have enough time for all of it. I struggle to get what I can done, and I do the very best that I can, and I work really hard at it, and that's as a director first and foremost. Now, throughout the course of my training, my upbringing, and the practices I've undergone, truly, I don't really get rest at all. I mean, I can put my body to sleep, but I don't go to sleep. I'm still awake, and believe me, you can spend a lot of energy sleeping. Like, if you are engaged in dreams, especially dreams that last on and on and on, and you're actually practically functioning in these dreams, you're lucid, and you're using energy to maneuver, especially practicing things, yeah, you can burn a lot of energy. I mean, you can wake up after a full night's rest totally beat. So, yeah, I have dark circles under my eyes because I don't get a lot of rest, but I assure you it's not because I'm depressed. I am sad at the moment, but that's not going to be, and as many of you should know, anybody who's followed along with me, I do not believe in clinical depression. I think that's a bullshit excuse diagnosis. Anybody out there who has been diagnosed with clinical depression, personally, I'm not going to call you a bullshitter. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to say you don't have a problem. What I am going to say is that your brain permanently malfunctioning and causing for you to be depressed is not the problem that you have. Your brain can fix that. It's very likely the problem that you have is most likely going to be whatever medications you've been prescribed. That's just my opinion. You don't have to take it, but you might want to look into it. In any case, today I became aware of various informations, some of which is that certain persons I really wanted to be working with in the future, it seems I will not be granted the opportunity to work with for personal reasons having to do with team members we already have, which, we do have a fantastic team, and I have the utmost faith in them, so it's not it's not too big a deal, I guess, but, I mean, it does make me sad, for right now, and, a lot of things went downhill quick. I got rejected today in a big way that really sucked, although I did gain a prospect, a pretty solid prospect that might allow for me to make some extra finances for us in the future, but, that is not certain yet, and, I mean, even if it was, it wouldn't make up for the general sorrow that I incur from this lacking of the certain peoples I wanted to be working with. whatever the case is, I'm in a sad mood, so I'm gonna ask for your guys' help to cheer me up if any of you care. I mean, I do it for you all the time, so help me out here. I want to move forward with, especially considering that we have a new project in the works with a brand new member who just joined up, a very, very spectacularly high potential key figure, a big player. She's like really awesome, and she's not only super awesome and super sweet and kind and awesome girl, beautiful young lady in every possible way, but she's also kind of a hard ass too. So I mean, we had best of both worlds there, and as I've stated, she wants to eventually get into working on making a certain what we could say are sort of mini documentaries, and we're going to begin doing this by working with a sort of a podcast. This is going to be I'm going to partner up with her. I'm going to be her co-host. This will be her project. She'll own it, but I'm going to be a co-host for her and help direct, for it and help her get it going. And of course, I've already acquired several interview persons for her for it, so I'm going to help her out in that regard. And it's going to be super interesting, but I want to be prepared for this by moving forward with the personality profiling, which is actually the key or the core to our curriculum, the color-coding personality profiling system. And the color coding, as it stands, it works. It works magnificently. We've even developed tactics for spotting it, and we know how to work with it. It's fantastic. There's nothing wrong with that. However, that is just the base. That's like the bottom level there. That's the very base construct of it all. Now, what we want to do is we want to continue adding layers to this to make it as complicated and specific as is possible. We want to really isolate an individual personality so that we know precisely how to deal with somebody. And when I say this, please know that I mean, well, obviously it could come in handy if we run into trouble with people and we need to deal with them in a certain way. I mean that, but for the most part, what I'm saying is know precisely how to deal with them in the sense as how we can best help them, or what they're best suited for doing, or what directions can be given to them that are best suited for their personality, and what is attributed to their persona in general. We want to be able to identify the soul of a person so that we can best serve them, direct them. So on top of that, on top of the color coding profiling system, we have several other facets. We incorporate numerology. I would like to incorporate the zodiac and astrology. Some of the founding members do not agree with that. They don't believe that actually works, or that it's real. I guess they maybe they think it's real, but they don't really buy into it so much, or they don't think it's so accurate. This is a little baffling to me. I can understand their perspective because they're coming from a differing perspective. Of course, the foundation members are going to be me being a blue, it's going to be Boob as a green, and Megan's a red. So she's going to be coming from a spiritual aspect, and her discernments are going to come from that perspective, which encompasses everything really. She's not going to be so argumentative about things. However, Boob, coming from the perspective of a green, a mechanical, biological perspective, he's going to have a tendency to think that life originates with biology, and not, or that rather psyche originates from biology and not vice versa, which, it is actually both, but if it had to be one or the other, it would very much more likely be biology originating from the psyche. That's standard. That everybody should know that. It's not difficult to figure out, so sorry, Boob, but that is the case. However, you are in fact, of course, correct. It's going to be both. There's no difference between the two. There's no division. But if there had to be, I'd be right, is what I'm saying. So, anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to incorporate Zodiac because honestly, I don't see how you can look, especially looking at it from the perspective of a biological or mechanical perspective. How can you look at the universe and its machinery and not consider that to play, a vital hand in the deck that you're dealt? Like, it's just, of course it does. Of course astrology works. Why would it not work? It always has. in any case, we're going to incorporate astrology, at least to some extent. And numerology, that's a big one. Numerology is exceptionally accurate. We would like to, working with one of the new members that we have, the Candace, who specializes in tarot readings. We're gonna try, and I've been trying to convince her to work with me on combining the arcana from the tarot decks with the archetypes from the Jung's collective unconscious, because they do fit together, and putting those two pieces together would make for a miraculous puzzle, and really give us some insight into personality in and of itself. So eventually we'll get that going, but I guess basically what I'm asking here is for you to give me some pointers. Whoever's watching this, just give me some pointers. Tell me what you think could be incorporated into our personality profiling system. There are so many different ways. There's so many different measures by which people have gone about developing personality profiling systems. If you have ideas, or you know of any that work, or or if you think something should or should not be added, help me out here. Give me some instructions that I can work with, because again, this is our project. This is our channel. It's not, it's just because I'm the host of it doesn't mean it's only mine. It's yours too. And I'm hoping you guys are gonna, own up to that at some point and realize that you have a hand in making this happen, and that how big a hand you have in making this happen is only determined by how courageous you're willing to be in expressing your opinions on it. So, that's about it. I'm asking for help in regards to what your opinions or thoughts or ideas might be, insofar as to how we can go about, perfecting this profiling system. So there you have it. That's my query for you guys, and it would make me very happy and get me out of this saddened rut that I'm in, were you to provide any insight on the matter. So thank you very much for watching. Love you guys. As usual, Keelah, Taerve, siari, Namasté.